This story is titled, My Fiancé Gave Me a List of Wedding Rules, including, Your Mom Can't Speak, We're White, or Be in Photos, She's Too Trashy. I said, okay, and pretended to go along. The morning of the wedding, I sent her one final rule of my own. This marriage isn't happening. She showed up alone. My family didn't. Neither did I. So let me set the stage. My name's Derek. I'm 29, construction foreman by day, semi-functioning human stress ball by night. I was engaged to a woman named Eden, who on paper looked like someone you'd cast to play a successful dental office girl boss with a secret Pinterest board titled, My Dream Wedding. Keyword. Looked. Eden's mom Naomi? Oh, my God. Imagine Kris Jenner mixed with a Bond villain and a splash of HOA president energy. First time I met her, she asked me, not joking, what my 5-year plan for income growth was. At dinner, before I'd even ordered my drink. She stared at my Timex like it was a parole bracelet. But back then I was dumb. Love-drunk dumb. Eden was hot, smart, and knew how to fake interest in my boring work stories. I thought we had that us against the world vibe. I didn't realize I was the unpaid intern in a 2-woman psychological thriller co-starring my checking account. Anyway, fast forward. We're engaged. I proposed by a lake. Very notebook. Very sweet. She said yes, cried, called her mom before she called her friends. In hindsight? Red flag. But back then I thought it was cute. Then came wedding planning. Eden morphed into this full-blown control freakzilla with a clipboard and a 6-tab Google sheet. Everything had to be curated and elevated and timeless but opulent. I said, hey, maybe we could scale it down. And she looked at me like I'd farted during communion. But I rolled with it. Until we got the list. Not a guest list. No, a rule list. It was emailed to me in PDF format. Title, Non-Negotiables, Wedding Day Boundaries. Like a syllabus. I opened it thinking it was a joke. Oh no, baby. She was dead serious. Top of the list. 1. Your mom is not allowed to speak at the wedding. 2. Your mom may not wear white, ivory, champagne, or any light neutral. 3. Your mom is not to be in posed photographs. Candid group shots are fine if she behaves. 4. No +1 for your cousin Michael. He creeps Eden out. 5. Your side of the family must cover their tattoos or they'll be asked to leave. And it went on. There were 23 rules. 23. And here's the kicker. Right next to rule number 3 about my mom, Eden added a note. She already stands out too much. It's not a good look in the photos. Like my mom, some meth head streaking through a Walgreens, not the woman who raised me by herself while working 3 jobs and surviving breast cancer. I didn't respond to the email. Just read it. Then reread it. Then stared at the ceiling for 40 minutes. Then I cracked open a beer at 11 a.m. and watched YouTube videos about non-refundable deposits. My brain went full Windows 95 loading screen. I pretended to go along. Smiled. Nodded. Said, sure babe, it's your day. But inside, I started writing a rule of my own. Only one. Just one. Rule 1. This marriage isn't fucking happening. But Eden didn't know that yet. And oh, I was gonna make sure she found out the hard way. So I played along. I smiled at wedding cake tastings I wasn't invited to. I nodded during 90-minute FaceTime calls with her mom where they referred to my family as the Walmart side of the guest list. I clapped like a trained seal while Naomi fake cried over flower arrangements she somehow got inspired by after stalking Martha Stewart's niece's wedding. Meanwhile, Eden kept acting like the rule list was totally normal. Like, yeah, of course your mom can't wear neutral tones, Derek, she might upstage the bridesmaids. Are you trying to ruin the aesthetic? By this point, I was so far down the spiral I was texting my group chat in all caps like, do I fake my own death or just fling myself into a decorative wedding fountain? Cannon, my best friend, was fully team chaos. He was like, bro, don't just call it off. Ruin her spirit. Love that guy. Now, my family? Oblivious. I didn't tell them about the list. I couldn't. My mom was so excited, man. She kept calling me to ask if she should wear her hair up or down. She bought new shoes. She practiced her toast. She even booked a spray tan appointment for the first time in her life. Said she didn't want to look too ghostly in Eden's aesthetic. My mom said that. The same woman who once wore Crocs to a funeral. I said nothing. I played the happy fiancé. Eden started calling me her rock, which was ironic considering she was the one chucking metaphorical boulders at everything I cared about. 3 days before the wedding, Naomi sent me an itinerary. Not an invite, an itinerary. I was scheduled to arrive at the venue at 9 a.m. sharp, get photos done, with Eden-approved individuals, and be present for the final groom styling touch UPS. Final groom styling touch UPS. Like I'm a fucking rotisserie chicken. I showed the schedule to Canon, and he nearly peed himself laughing. Bro, you're not a groom. You're an unpaid extra at your own wedding. That night, I did it. I wrote my own rule. Just one. And scheduled it as a text. Sent from my phone to Eden's. New rule. This marriage isn't happening. Good luck explaining it to your influencer aunt in Naomi's wine club. I won't be there. Scheduled for 7 a.m. on the wedding day. Boom. Then I made my calls. Quiet ones. Told my family the truth. Told them not to come. That it was off. That Eden didn't know yet. But they were off the hook. My mom cried. Then asked if she could still wear her spray tan to brunch. Cannon and I packed my truck with a cooler, a hammock, and 2 lawn chairs. Drove out to the land I bought years ago before I met Eden. No cell service. No drama. Just peace. 7:01 a.m. My phone buzzed with a single notification. Delivered. 7:04 a.m. Missed call. Eden. 7:05 a.m. Naomi. 7:06 a.m. Eden again. 14 more times. But the chapel? Empty. She showed up alone. My family didn't. Neither did I. Let the wedding photos reflect that. Okay. So while I'm off-grid in a folding chair sipping lukewarm beer like a retired war vet who just survived the Battle of Gaslighting Hill, the group chat back home is detonating. Cannon's got 1 bar of service and is giving me live updates from the world's pettiest apocalypse. First bomb. Eden shows up in full glam. Hair, makeup, cathedral veil, Swarovski crystals exploding off her dress like she's the damn chandelier from Phantom of the Opera. And she is smiling. Like smiling. Because she hasn't read the text yet. Then someone hands her her phone. Cannon says it's like someone unplugged her brain and plugged in a toaster. That smile drops so fast the makeup artist legit flinches. Naomi immediately snatches the phone, reads the message, and starts screeching. Not yelling. Not gasping. Pterodactyl rage shrieking. Cannon described it as raw turkey being hit by a leaf blower. Now here's where it gets fun. Naomi goes into full crisis PR mode. Grabs Eden's phone, starts pacing the venue like she's drafting a hostage statement. Bridesmaids are crying. The venue coordinator is stress-eating mints. And Eden? Oh honey. She does what any spoiled demon bride would do when the wedding she schemed into existence goes nuclear. She starts yelling at the guests. Like these poor people, her coworkers, her sorority sisters, some dude named Uncle Ron, who came in Crocs, are somehow to blame for me pulling the plug. She's demanding people call Derek. Telling people I'm having a breakdown. At one point, she straight up accuses my mom of sabotaging the wedding because she never liked the vision. Girl, what vision? Colonial Williamsburg, but make it emotionally abusive? Meanwhile, Naomi's sobbing into her rose like she's the victim in a Hallmark tragedy. He ruined her future, she screams. Lady, I saved your daughter from becoming a lifestyle podcast cautionary tale. Cannon's still at the scene, sending me updates like, Cannon, yo Eden's dad just left and took the open bar with him LMFAO. Cannon, the DJ is playing I Will Survive and Eden's throwing her shoes. Cannon, Naomi just said, he'll regret this when he's alone and broke. And you our aunt replied, nah bitch, he's building a house. Turns out Naomi tried to publicly save face by pretending she called off the wedding for family reasons. But then a bridesmaid exposed her in real time by reading my text out loud like it was the Gettysburg Address. That's when Eden lost it. We're talking full tantrum. Mascara streaks. Screaming about, how dare he humiliate me, and I gave up 3 years for this. 3 years? Girl, I gave you my credit card, my emotional bandwidth, and 40 weekends of watching The Bachelor just to hear you call my mom tacky. Best part? Someone caught it on video. Entire meltdown. It hit Facebook before I even finished my second beer. Cannon tagged me. Caption. She showed up in white. He didn't show up at all. Legendary. By sunset, I had 87 missed calls, 31 voicemails, 14 texts from Naomi, 6 from Eden's bridesmaids, 3 supportive, 3 trying to get their deposits back, and 1 extremely long, extremely capitalized Facebook post from Naomi titled, When Men Break Their Vows, a Cautionary Tale of Cowardice. She used the word emasculated 5 times. Also, deeply insecure. Cannon replied with a gif of SpongeBob dancing. That night, as Eden subtweeted me from her bridal suite turn-cry room and Naomi threatened to go legal, I roasted hot dogs under the stars on my land, on my terms. And for the first time in months, I slept like a king. A very petty, unapologetically ghosting, glow-up-bound king. To be continued. So the day after the great ghost wedding, my phone is straight up screaming. Cannon's blowing me up. My aunt's texting me, proud of you, baby, while simultaneously trying to figure out if she can return her rhinestone clutch. And Eden? Oh, Eden's doing damage control like she's running a press conference after a celebrity DUI. I log back online and it's already started. Eden's Instagram. Sometimes the hardest decisions are the right ones. Eden's Facebook. I just want peace and healing right now. No hate. Eden's cousin Rachel. People should know the real reason the wedding was called off. Some men can't handle a strong woman. Strong woman? Babe, you made a PowerPoint about my mom's neckline. And then, Naomi went nuclear. She sent me a literal PDF, a whole ass invoice, titled, Reimbursement for Wedding Losses Incurred Due to Groom's Abandonment. No joke, it had $9,800 for catering, $3,200 for florals, $650 for custom E+D monogram linens, emotional damages, $5,000, wasted mother of the bride Botox and fillers, $1,100. Girl put emotional damages on there like we're in a telenovela lawsuit. Cannon framed the invoice and hung it in his garage. Anyway, here's where I flipped the petty switch to maximum. Remember all those wedding gifts? Yeah, I tracked them. Half were shipped to our old address, and guess who was still listed as the primary recipient on the wedding registry? Me. And I changed the delivery location to my parents' house. Within 48 hours, a FedEx truck pulled up with a ninja footy, thanks, Aunt Marie. The Cruise at Cookware set, Naomi's co-workers. 2 towel sets monogrammed with Mr. and Mrs. Anderson. And a goddamn Dyson Airwrap, Eden's holy grail. My mom opened the box and said, "Oh honey, these towels are nice. Want me to embroider, just kidding, over the monogram?" I said yes. She did it. They're hanging in my guest bathroom now. And Eden? She caught on fast. First came the texts. Return those. You know they were meant for us. This is theft, Derek. My mother is contacting a lawyer. You're seriously disgusting. You embarrass me in front of everyone. Then came the voicemail. She's sobbing, right? Saying she still loves me, that I made a mistake, that she only laughed at Naomi's toast because she was nervous. Oh, now she was nervous? Where was that energy when I was playing human wallpaper while your mom said I was a trial run before Jacob 2.0? I didn't respond. Not to her. Not to Naomi. Not to Rachel, who DM'd me with, "You could have handled this more maturely." You know who I did respond to? The florist. I called and asked if the flowers had been paid in full. They had not. Guess whose name the reservation was under? Mine. So I said, cancel the Eden order. I'm switching it up. And sent every single floral arrangement to the local nursing home, with a note that said, enjoy the roses. I dodged the thorns. Derek. Cannon said I'm going to hell. I told him I'm driving the party bus there, and he's DJing. To be continued. Because Eden's planning something. I can feel it. And baby, I'm already 3 steps ahead. Okay. Strap in. So it's been, what? 5 days since Eden got left standing in her Swarovski dress with Naomi foaming at the mouth and Jacob, the real estate goblin, circling like a vulture in a suit 2 sizes too tight? And you'd think she'd do what any reasonable person does after being publicly humiliated by their own toxicity. Crawl into a weighted blanket burrito, reevaluate their life choices, and maybe, just maybe, leave me the hell alone. But no. Eden decided to go full villain arc. I get a knock on my door. It's a dude in khakis holding an envelope. Certified mail. I'm thinking maybe it's a refund from one of the vendors or some legal thing about the canceled venue. Nope. Ceasand. Freaking. Desist. Apparently, Eden and Naomi got a lawyer, like, an actual person with a degree, to send me an official letter telling me to stop defaming them online and maliciously interfering with their reputations. Reputations? Girl, Naomi built hers on backhanded compliments and Chardonnay-fueled sabotage. That ship sailed the second she said my mom looked like a before picture in a Dove commercial. So I did what any calm, level-headed man would do. I printed out the cease and desist, taped it to my garage fridge next to the picture of my dog and a birthday hat. And then I opened the folder. Oh yeah, I've got a folder. Receipts, Final Boss Edition. See, in between wedding planning and being emotionally carpet-bombed, I was taking screenshots, voice memos, photos. Every shady little breadcrumb Eden and Naomi dropped got logged like I was building a case for Dateline. Naomi's text about making sure the prenup expires before he catches on? Logged. Eden joking about getting the house and then bouncing with Jacob? Logged. The group chat messages where they ranked my family by aesthetic viability for wedding photos? Yup. Logged. So what did I do? I sent a very polite email to Naomi's employer. She's a regional sales director for some skincare MLM disguised as a lifestyle brand. The kind of company that loves talking about integrity and empowering women. Attached to the email, screenshots of Naomi mocking a coworker's disability. A text where she called her own niece a useless potato baby. A voice recording of her saying, and I quote, "I don't care if it bankrupts him. Eden deserves the Instagrammable wedding." Y'all, that company moved fast. Naomi's Instagram bio changed from Mom, Minner, CEO of my life, to just her first name and a flower emoji within 24 hours. Her downline started posting vague subtweets like, "Some people just aren't who you thought they were." Meanwhile, Eden, she escalated. First came the sad girl era content. Black and white selfies with lyrics like, "I gave you my heart, and you left me at the altar." Then came the fake friends turning on her. Cannon sent me a screenshot from one of her bridesmaid stories. "Some women will sacrifice real love for aesthetics. Don't be that girl." Tagged Eden. Publicly. That's when she lost her damn mind. I woke up to a burner number blowing up my phone. Eden, unhinged, crying, begging for a meeting just to talk. Saying she still loves me. That we can figure this out. That this doesn't have to be war. Girl, you declared war when you sent your cousin to my DMs to check on me, and also mentioned that Jacob still thinks about me in the same sentence. Who does that? Was that supposed to be a threat? A flex? A 2-for-1 coupon on gaslighting? So I sent one final reply. Not to Eden. Not to Naomi. I posted a single story. Black screen. White text. Not every fairy tale ends with a wedding. Some end with court documents and a spite house. Cannon added a fire emoji. My ex's cousin liked it. And I slept like a baby with noise-canceling earbuds and zero regrets. To be continued. Because this saga? Oh, baby, it's just hitting Act 3. Okay. So, thought it was over? Thought Eden and Naomi would slither back to whatever suburban lair they spawned from? Think again. Because the only thing more relentless than a jilted ex-bride is a jilted ex-bride with a PR crisis, a Botoxed mom running out of hush money, and exactly zero shame. Let me break it down. Cannon's cousin Jess, who happened to be one of Eden's bridesmaids, reached out to me in secret. Apparently, she only stuck around for the aesthetic perks and free Prosecco. But after the whole left at the altar stunt, Eden started trying to turn the whole bridal party into her personal revenge army. Phase 1. Fake pregnancy scare. I wish I was joking. Eden tells 3 different people that she might be pregnant and just wants Derek to know before he makes a mistake. Girl, I hadn't touched her in weeks. The only thing growing inside her is desperation and expired mimosas. Jess sends me a screenshot of Eden's group text. If he thinks he can just disappear, let's see how he handles a baby scare. Watch him come crawling back, lol. Yeah. I did not. Phase 2. Naomi trying to break into my land. No, seriously. Apparently, they figured out the address to the spite house. Probably through some unholy cocktail of Eden's stalker tendencies and Naomi's wine-fueled Facebook sleuthing. Cannon had just finished helping me install cameras, because I knew these 2 weren't done. And guess who shows up at 2:13 a.m. in a Lexus with her headlights off? Naomi. In a fur coat. Holding a flashlight. With Jacob in the passenger seat like it's a low-budget reboot of Ocean's 11, but no one has skills and everyone's drunk. The footage is unreal. She's tapping on my windows like a damn crypt keeper whispering, "We just want to talk." Meanwhile, Jacob's standing behind her holding a crowbar. What was the plan? Break in and redecorate? I didn't even confront them. I just emailed the footage to my lawyer and Cannon uploaded a still frame of Naomi's wig flying off when she tripped over a rock to our fantasy football group chat. Caption. Naomi, level 12 Goblin Queen, fails stealth roll. Phase 3. Eden tried to bump into me at my gym. Cannon's gym, actually. She must have seen him tag it on Instagram. I walk in, headphones on, ready to sweat out the stupid, and there she is. Perched on a yoga mat like a damn predator cat. Full face of makeup. Matching set. Hair curled. She waves like we're old coworkers at a reunion. I nod. Keep walking. She jogs after me. Breathless like she's been caught off guard. Derek. Wow. I didn't expect to see you here. You came in full concert with my favorite playlist blaring over the speakers. What? You thought I proposed next to the squat rack? She tries to guilt trip me. Says I humiliated her. That people are starting to ask questions. That I ruined her wedding, her image, her future. I told her, I didn't ruin anything. I just hit pause before you could speed run me into financial ruin and trauma therapy. She actually teared up. But not like real tears. Like those glisten into eyes. I'm still the victim here, crocodile droplets. I walked out. Cannon was waiting in the car with iced coffee and said, "So, we burning sage or the whole building?" I laughed. But the next day, Eden posted a TikTok. Yep. A whole TikTok with sad piano music and stock wedding footage of a couple dancing, not even us, with the caption, "He ghosted me the morning of our wedding. If you're reading this, I still love you." Hashtag healing, hashtag ghosted, hashtag wedding fail. The comments were unhinged. Some were supportive. Some were Eden stans calling me a spineless coward. One girl said she'd gladly marry Eden if Derek won't. Another dude just commented, "Jacob is a snake, bro." I didn't respond, but I did notice Eden's wedding photographer also commented, "Didn't get paid for the shoot. Would love reimbursement before karma does her thing." And then, Naomi posted a GoFundMe. Title, "Help my daughter heal from emotional wedding trauma." The audacity. The performance. The $17 raised in 2 days. To be continued. Because Naomi just tagged me in a post about reconciliation and second chances. And now I've got to burn something. Probably sage. Maybe my retinas. Definitely this whole chapter of my life. Okay. So I wake up one morning to Cannon banging on my door with 2 coffees, a devilish grin, and a manila envelope. "Bro, you've been served." "What?" "Naomi found a lawyer who doesn't ask questions and charges by the hour." Subpoena. Actual subpoena. Turns out Naomi and Eden filed a civil suit for emotional damages and breach of contract. I screamed. These women are trying to sue me for not marrying Eden after plotting to mortgage my soul and slide it into Jacob's portfolio like I was a house-flipping side hustle. My first thought? Cool. This is wild. I'm gonna need snacks. Second thought? If this is happening, I'm winning loudly. So I did what any rational, jaded ex-fiancé with access to a spite house and a Bluetooth speaker would do. I threw a "thanks for the lawsuit" barbecue. Cannon printed the invite. Derek's official civil disobedience party. Come celebrate the dumbest legal battle since the McDonald's coffee lawsuit, but with less burns and more brisket. BYOB and bring court-appropriate outfits. Bonus points if you show up in white. Receipt. Y'all, it was glorious. We hung a banner across the deck. "Welcome to breach of this contract." Cannon DJ'd from a cooler. My aunt brought Jell-O shots shaped like gavels. People showed up in secondhand wedding dresses. Someone made Naomi's tears punch out of cheap boxed wine and Sprite. It slapped. But the real treat? I live-streamed a reading of the subpoena. Straight-faced. Suit on. Cannon playing Law and Order music from his phone. We read every single ridiculous charge, including intentional infliction of emotional distress and malicious abandonment of social duty like it was Shakespeare. And at the end, I held up a receipt folder an inch thick and said, "Ladies and gentlemen of the backyard, I submit into evidence. Exhibit Petty AF." And then I passed out copies. Yes, I made party favor packets. Inside, screenshots of Eden texting Jacob about getting the house after the divorce. A Venmo request from Naomi to Eden labeled for prenup lawyer. The florist receipt showing Naomi never paid for shit. And the crown jewel, a text from Eden's bridesmaid just saying, "I can't believe we're still going through with this. He's just a down payment to her." Mic drop. That same night, Naomi posted a Facebook Live meltdown. Full unhinged mode. Mascara halfway down her cheeks, sitting in her home office that she calls her command center, holding a glass of Merlot the size of a soup bowl. "These are private family matters. He was like a son to me. This is a smear campaign. Sis, you tried to refinance my kidneys. Sit down." Meanwhile, Eden's over on TikTok making thirst traps with sad captions like, "Sometimes the groom runs because he knows he's not enough. Hashtag ghosted, hashtag wife material, hashtag still standing." Girl, if you were still standing, why'd you try to break into my house with a wig and a flashlight? But the real finale that week? Eden showed up at my parents' church. Yup, rolled in, and head-to-toe beige like she's the ghost of failed engagements, and told the pastor's wife she wanted to make things right. My mom told her, in front of the entire after-service crowd, "The only thing you need to make right is that $800 KitchenAid mixer you tried to keep. Leave it on the porch." My mom, with the kill shot, Cannon's still talking about it, says she deserves a sitcom. Or a sword. All right, buckle TF up. Court day. The final boss battle. I show up with Cannon, 2 iced lattes, and a manila folder so thick it needed its own seatbelt. I'm wearing a suit Naomi once said made me look like an Uber driver with delusions of wealth. Perfect. Eden shows up late, of course, crying before she even walks in, like she's starring in a courtroom drama called "This Man Left Me and Took My KitchenAid." Naomi is behind her, dressed like a real housewife with a persecution complex. Full hat, sunglasses, Chanel bag, lips so overfilled she looked like a trout with a grudge. Jacob's not there. Coward. But Eden's lawyer is, and let me tell you, this man looked like he printed his JD off Reddit. Sweaty, stammering, holding a single piece of paper. Meanwhile, my lawyer, Bernie, is cool as hell. Retired, but still sharp. Wears suspenders and cracks his knuckles like he's about to end bloodlines. He leans over and goes, "Let the fools talk. Then we bury them. Let's go." So Eden's side opens with some Oscar-level sob story about emotional abandonment, financial betrayal, and the social consequences of being publicly humiliated at the altar. Naomi's crying in the pews like a backup actress hoping for a spin-off. They roll out this whole fake narrative about how I manipulated her, how she was blindsided, how she was traumatized by the last-minute cancellation of her future. And then, Eden tries to pass off a doctored email thread to make it look like I'd agreed to let Naomi handle the wedding finances. She printed out screenshots she faked. Y'all, I stood up and passed Bernie my folder. Exhibit A, the real email thread. I pulled it from my Google account with timestamps. Shows Naomi demanding control, me saying let's revisit this after reviewing costs, and Eden replying LOL don't be cheap. Exhibit B, the prenup text messages. Eden joking that it expires in 6 months anyway. Exhibit C, Naomi's recorded voicemail saying we're just using him until the mortgage clears. Exhibit D, security cam footage of Naomi trying to break into my land with Jacob and a fucking crowbar. At one point the judge goes, "Are you telling me the plaintiff attempted to access your private property under false pretenses the week of filing this claim?" And I swear Cannon whispered, "Finish her." Bernie calmly lays out the sequence of events like he's narrating a Dateline episode. Shows that not only did I not breach shit, but Eden and Naomi committed attempted fraud, false documentation, and, depending on how generous the court felt, trespassing and conspiracy to exploit marital laws for asset acquisition. You could hear Naomi's soul leave her Botox. The judge stares at Eden, silent, then goes, "Ms. Redacted, if this is your idea of a marriage contract, it's a miracle the defendant left you at the altar instead of during the engagement. Case dismissed with prejudice. And if the defendant wants to file a counterclaim, I wouldn't advise against it. DEAD." Naomi tried to object. The judge waved her off like a gnat. "Ma'am, this is not Bravo. Sit down." Outside, Eden tried one last Hail Mary. Followed me out the courthouse, all tears and shaky voice. "We could have had something real. You gave up on us." I turned to her, looked her dead in the eyes, and said, "No. I gave up on surviving a life sentence with someone who saw me as an investment, not a partner. This wasn't love. It was a scam with roses on top." Cannon threw me his sunglasses like it was the final scene in a revenge movie. I put them on. We walked off into the parking lot like badasses on lunch break from hell. That weekend, I had a case dismissed party at the Spite House. Grilled steaks. Played the voicemail Naomi left where she screamed, "You'll regret this," on loop. My mom made lemon bars. My aunt wore white. Eden? Her GoFundMe vanished. Naomi? Rumor has it her MLM dropped her. Jacob? Still selling houses. Alone. And me? I'm free. Happy. Probably gonna build a second Spite House. Just for fun.